It's for syncing. That me just snapping there.
Okay. You want to do like a countdown or something? Like we'll both count down. Like you do 5, I do 4, you do 3.
We're good, man. We're good.
Okay.
I know where this all is now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, it's which I guess we're starting now.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
And okay, so HCS happened. I didn't even realize that it was happening until I saw everyone tweeting about it like crazy. This is the first MLG hosted Halo event in how long?
The last one was MLG Dallas in 2012, fall of 2012.
Oh,
so this is 5.5 years. Yeah, it's a long time coming.
It's been approximately way too long.
Yeah, I think if you want to use exacts, I'd say that way too long is the perfect term.
So I see everyone going crazy. I followed Halo 5's HCS during the ESL days, and I don't like watching Halo 5. I thought it was very boring to watch for MLG. What makes the HCS MLG, I mean, the HCS I just think is boring. I think it looks boring to watch. What makes MLG so different?
So MLG have always had this mantra that their first and foremost is to turn the players into rock stars.
Okay.
And they've done a fantastic job with that with Call of Duty. Like, you look at Scum, like 2 million followers, the guy's a legend. You look at people like Karma and stuff, like they've done fantastic jobs with that with Call of Duty, and they're going to start doing that with Halo, where they create histories for the players, like backstories, they create relationships, stuff like that. So it's more than just watching a game, it's watching the actual players, and it gets you invested in the players. Where, like, I agree with Halo 5. Like, I think everyone knows my opinions on Halo 5. But, like, I must have watched 18 hours of Halo this weekend.
Jeez.
Purely because of what MLG do, and because of the quality of the casting, the quality of the gameplay, the quality of the production, the stream, the distinct lack of any downtime or problems on the stream. It's refreshing, and MLG this weekend showed why they are the undisputable greatest of all times in terms of tournament organizers.
Because it wasn't Richard Sims, one of the casters on Twitter. He was during the ESL days. He was definitely starting to get visibly angry with the like terrible quality.
He wasn't the only one. We had a tournament about a year ago where the audio was fucked for like half of it, and the excuse was there's like 5,000 audio cables and some of them keep getting unplugged. Like, dude, you're a tournament organizer, come on, like, this is your job. There's been other issues as well before, like, I mean, to be fair, on the first day of MLG Orlando, there were a few audio problems. I'm not going to say MLG were completely problem free. There were, like, for the first like hour or so, there was the odd audio issue. One was quite funny, actually. So the casters were talking, or the analysts were talking, and all of a sudden it just got progressively louder to the point where it was like ear rape. It was quite funny, I'll be honest, because they fixed it immediately. And this is the best thing about MLG, right? So with the SL, these problems, sometimes they get fixed really quickly, but sometimes they take ages to get fixed. And there'd be no communication, like there'd be nobody on Twitter or beyond or anywhere saying like, oh yeah, we're fixing this, we're in the process of fixing this. Whereas with MLG, Adam Apicello, who's like one of the head honchos at MLG, who has wanted to work Halo events again for years. He's been with Halo since the very start. And by the very start, I mean like 2002, like the start. He was on Beyond saying, yep, we're on it, guys, don't worry. And then 2 minutes later, the problem was fixed. Every time. So, even though there were audio issues, they were on it like a fucking car bonnet.
So you're saying ESL handled live streams kind of like 343 handled Halo 5 with the monthly updates. Oh, there's a large issue that's impacting the game. We'll fix it in like 8 months.
Yeah, let's give it a month. Oh, you can power slide across the map and throw yourself across the entire map by thrusting. Give it a month.
We'll fix it later. It's okay. Yeah.
All of that said, power sliding was fun as fuck, and I really wish they never got rid of that.
That's yeah. Well, that's like something in Halo 5 that takes skill to learn.
Yeah.
A skill gap, as they say.
Yeah, like that was one of the complaints when they got rid of it. Like, it was actually quite hard to master, and when you pulled it off, it was fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say it wasn't broken because it was extremely broken, but it was still a skill gap, and it was fun as hell. It was kind of like on par with
BXR.
If Bungie banned BXRs and like BXB and Halo 2, they didn't do that for a solid reason. I mean, there's like some talk of Bungie occasionally banning people for doing it in matchmaking, but I mean the pros were doing it every event, so there's clearly not that much of an issue.
No, and like BXR obviously was broken. You shouldn't be using the battle rifle like that, but in a competitive setting where that's something that you can pull off to get the upper hand and you're surrounded by other people, like, and it's this thing that takes precise timing to execute. It's cool when you see people winning a gunfight by executing a flawless BXR.
The people that say that BXR was broken, well, obviously it was broken, but the people that say that the BXR was like OP and it ruined Halo 2, two things. Number one, they likely can't BXR because BXRing, it's easy to do when you're in a custom game on your own, meleeing the wall, but when you're getting shot at in a close range environment, when you're actually in a firefight, pulling off a BXR is not only extremely difficult, but oh my god, it's satisfying. Like when some kid's like SMGing you and you just run up to him and fucking one tap him with a BR, it's so satisfying.
Well, I think in my opinion on the BXR is in a LAN/competitive environment, that is A-okay, like have that, but in like a matchmaking setting, like, okay, that's a little bit silly.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that.
Yeah, like
I get
the
that.
online sphere.
Yeah, like a pro like Walshy back in the day going into like Social Slayer and just BXRing people that have just bought the game is probably not the best way to advertise your game.
So the MLG thing overall was a positive experience.
Oh, dude, it was fucking spectacular. The casting was amazing. The analysts were amazing. The observers were so good. The games were crazy. It was such a good event. Like
people were just having fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Beyond forums, everyone knows they can be quite negative, but that was the most positive that I've seen those forums in years, and possibly ever. Actually, might actually have been ever. It was refreshing. It was extremely refreshing.
It's fun. It's fun to have people like excited about Halo again. Well, also, how were the views? Because MLG was doing it.
Okay, so the views in comparison to like COD and like CS, they weren't spectacular. That said, we're playing on a 2.5-year-old game that not only does it not have any new maps or game types compared to launch, it actually has less. We're now playing on a less varied map and game type set. And we pulled like, I think on Twitch we got like 17.8k viewers. On like MLG TV, Mixer and Twitter we got like 6k viewers total. So we have like 30k viewers, right? It's not, like it's not like CS or COD or God forbid League, but it's to say that we're playing a 2.5-year game that is incredibly stale now, that has less variety than it did on day one. That's not too bad, right? That isn't too bad. And especially compared to the last event, the viewership in the last event for the grand finals was like, I don't even know if it broke 10k. It might have done, but I'm not even sure if it broke 10k. So it is, in terms of percentage gains, it is a marked improvement, and the game is showing signs of life. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. I was thinking of how MLG, now that they have Halo again, how that would be able to like work, because I mean the game's old and stuff, but also I was just thinking like, obviously there's going to be all the Call of Duty fans and Counter-Strike fans that are probably following over just to see, what's up with this Halo thing. Some of our favorite players are doing Halo now, like, and so I was curious to see if the viewership would actually boost somewhat. And like,
it did boost.
Yeah, it did boost. 17,000.
Oh yeah, I'm not about to sing that as like, oh yeah, dude, we're crazy big again.
Well, to be fair, it's probably more people watching Halo 5 than actually playing it on a daily basis. 17,000.
It very likely is. But no, I'm not about to sing that like, oh yeah, dude, that was like the best the best viewership ever. But it is a marked improvement from the last event, and it was never going to be like an instant boom. It was never going to be like, oh, we'd have one event with MLG and then all of a sudden, bang, 200k viewers. Like, that was never going to happen. I don't think anyone really expected that. But it's going to be a process. We've got to rebuild over time. And when Halo 6 comes out, when we get something fresh, what game was that from? What game was that quote from?
I don't think it was a game. I think it was a movie or a show.
No, it was Halo 3, wasn't it?
We can rebuild.
End of.
Well, to be fair,
no, Reach. It was Reach. It was the end of
Reach.
Yeah, it was the end of Reach. Halsey says it at the end of Reach.
I feel okay. No, I feel like I've heard that quote somewhere else. I mean,
it's a very generic quote.
I mean, yeah. And ask me to quote anything from Reach. The first that comes to mind is that Marine that's like, the Covenant are on Reach. I repeat, the Covenant are on Reach. And just like it sounds like the guy is falling asleep in the recording studio, and they're like prodding him to keep him awake.
I love Reach's story, but that is Carter that says that, I think.
Do you like Reach's story, or do you like the fall of Reach's story?
I like both.
Really?
Yeah, I like both.
I'll admit, Reach's story was a lot of fun to play with co-op on couch co-op.
Yeah, Reach's story. It's obviously doesn't have the depth that Fall of Reach does. It doesn't have the weird Foreigner Crystal stuff that Fall of Reach does. But it's if anything, it's actually more grounded than the Fall of Reach because of that. But there's actually a crazy theory about that Foreigner Crystal. So I read it on Waypoint a few years ago. Well, Halsey found the Foreigner Crystal. It sparked another timeline, and Halo 4 and 5 are in the timeline that she sparked by touching the crystal. And now there's two Halo timelines running parallel, but that's a ridiculous theory for another video.
There's a timeline where the series doesn't go to shit and has aiming down the sights and...
There's a timeline where the series never got sprint, it never got armor abilities, it never got aiming down sights, it never got ground pound.
It's interesting because, like, I mean, just sort of, I had this, like, period of self-reflection where it was, like, how negative and analytical, like, everything needs to be dissected. It's, like... And so, like, obviously, Reach, I think we can agree as Halo fans, was probably one of the weaker Halo campaigns and stuff. But I'm not going to pretend like I don't have incredible memories from that campaign. I remember I had a buddy who owned Halo Reach before I did. This was back in the day when I had to get my mom to buy my video games for me. And so he had it for a solid week before I finally was able to get my mom to get me it, and she got me the guide, the big, thick guide with the artwork.
The Prima game guide, yeah.
Those things were awesome back in the day. But, and I remember he wanted to play the campaign so fucking bad, and the first thing I wanted to do was Forge. That was it. Like, first thing was Forge. We have to check out Forge.
I'm not surprised. Reach Forge back in the day was mind-blowing. I'll never forget that Vidoc where Bungie revealed Forge World, and everyone just being like, collectively, what the fuck is this? This is not one map. This cannot be one map.
Yeah. No, and the thing was, the internet, like, was still sort of like the wild frontier to me, even back in 2010. No, that for me specifically, like, I didn't know that you could follow and get news. Like, you know, I just assumed all news came from Game Informer.
No, to be fair, I was kind of the same, actually. It was only really with Halo halfway through Reach towards Halo 4 I started like actually following news on the internet. I was kind of the same.
So I heard from a friend at school after Reach came out. The thing was, first of all, at school, everybody was talking about the new Needler. They were like, the Needler looks crazy! Like, the spikes are so long! But then somebody was talking about, like, the Forge, and he was like, it's called Forge World, it's crazy! And I didn't believe him. I thought he was like, I was like, no, that makes no sense, that's too big. Like, that, no, you're fucking with me. Like, even Forge World, like, come on, give me a break. And he was like, it's real, man, it's real, Forge World, like... Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised that you couldn't believe him, because the size of that map, when they first revealed it, people were like, yeah, that's going to be multiple maps. Like, that can't be one map.
Oh, God, yeah. Dude, Halo Reach was like, I mean, you know, whatever your opinions about the recoil on the guns and the weapon bloom, but like, dude, YouTube, that, like, Reach, I think, was the pinnacle of Halo on YouTube, at least. Like,
Yeah,
all the machinimas that people were coming out with. Like, remember Arby and the Chief?
I do, indeed. I still watch it.
That whole, like, wedding arc.
I hate it. It was season 6, I think. I got so bored during that when the entire thing was in game. It was like, there was the wedding. Was it Claire? Arby's girlfriend, Claire, I think it was. Yeah. There was that whole thing. When it turned into like an actual in-game machinima. I love Arby and the Chief, but that season dragged on for me. That dragged on majorly. And I agree with you. Like, I think the pinnacle of Halo YouTube was Reach, because that's when like Achievement Hunter started coming out, making all these all the videos on like, all these crazy Forge maps and the what was it? Jack versus who was it? Fuck. You know what I mean? Where they do the achievement horse thing. The achievement horse thing.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Like that was the pinnacle. Yeah, it was.
And that was kind of sad that like horse, like achievement horse and stuff like that, they just kind of stopped doing it in Halo around the time of Halo 4 because viewers started to get tired, and even from what I understand, Rooster Teeth began to get a little bit sick of Halo 4 as well.
Yeah, well, it still kind of shocks me that Red versus Blue has the significantly big following that it does. Like, I'm happy that it does, but I'm shocked that they managed to stick it through Halo 4.
Yeah, especially
and get out on the other end.
Especially in Halo 4, when you lower your weapon, but you start moving, you automatically raise the weapon again.
It pulls it back. Yeah, pulls it back up.
That was such a like, what are you doing?
Halo 4 took so many back steps. Like, I think the only step forward it took was getting rid of Bloom. I think that's literally the only step forward it took.
It's also weird because I saw actually a lot of the machinima creators, I think to Spearhead, shared on Twitter an image from one of the Red versus Blue trailers that takes place in Halo 5 now, and everyone looked like a cartoon, like a Barbie doll, like made out of plastic because of how awful the coloring is.
And, that's Halo 5 Spartans for you then.
Yeah, like everyone just looks like they're made out of rubber or something. Like, it's so weird. And then it was like a side-by-side comparison of one of his Halo 5 machinimas, and it was like he fixed the coloring. He even used green screen so he could have a fake depth of field effect.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth, I haven't followed. I stopped watching Red versus Blue after the whatever that stupid thing. Like, the show got too stupid, essentially. Like, it began taking itself way too seriously, and then CGI came in, and it was like, oh no. Like, and then the humor kind of also started to slip up because now they had CGI and they could just have action sequences, where before, because of their limitations, they had to use clever writing to hold the show up.
Yeah, it had a sort of magic. It kind of reminds you of like hand animation versus mocap. It has a sort of magic where every single action that the character takes is because of one person's controls, if you get me. Like, it had that certain magic to it.
It's almost like classic Halo, where the gameplay was so simple that it required the sandbox to do creative things to help you get around quickly.
Hold on there, buddy. Today's market expects sprint and clamber and aiming down the sights
and being boring.
Fucking hell. Yeah, definitely.
That's what they're doing. So I was thinking also of trying to get some of the lore boys. I don't know what they call them. The lore kids. The loremen. Trying to get like you, Ian, Halo canon, and then possibly but who else is doing Halo lore?
In terms of like videos?
Yeah, because it's like you two. For the most part.
Covey Cannon does it.
Covey Cannon is growing.
Eckhart's Ladder does it. He's good. He does like Star Wars and Halo stuff. I know there's more people, and I know that there's definitely some slipping my mind.
And I'm sure they appreciate you for forgetting them.
so to those currently slipping my mind, in my defense, I woke up 40 minutes ago. So
yeah, no,
that is my defense.
I'm with you. It's still dark outside when I look out the window.
Okay, it's light here, so that's at least one benefit.
We'll have to get a couple of the loremen in here so we can talk about Halo lore and stuff. I see with you are taking off, my man. You are getting up there in terms of subscribers. You're getting close to that 100,000.
Dude, it feels like weird because when I was back in high school, when I used to just make fucking random Call of Duty videos and shit, like not actually dedicate any proper time or effort to YouTube, and wonder why I was getting nowhere. I used to be watching like Call of Duty YouTubers, like back in the day, T Martin, Gold Glove, Jericho, these people who had like 100k subs, and that was like the peak of YouTube. That was like they were the biggest ones there. And I never even like thought that I'd get even remotely close to that. Like it never even sort of crossed my mind that I'd even get close to it. But now I'm like
now
really
it's
close
there.
To hitting it. It's happening. It's odd. Like it feels so weird that something that I never even thought that I thought was too much of a pipe dream to ever even embrace reality is actually like a couple weeks from happening. It's strange but incredibly cool.
Yeah, the grind. Yeah, man, it's all paying off now. It's all coming to a head.
Yeah,
all the plot lines are converging on each other, and you're about to hit that 100k.
All the crazy flood theories finally paid off.
All your fucking flood videos. Okay, so people have asked me to talk to you about the flood.
Okay, I could have seen that one coming.
Yeah, and basically, okay, so why are you so obsessed with the flood? Why do you think the people are obsessed with the flood? And why is it that what about the flood makes people so just fucking crazy and excited?
Okay, so I actually have a video planned on this, but I'm going to give you guys like a big teaser over here. So the reason that I love the flood so much is that pretty much ever since I started watching like anything horror based or got told about certain things in horror, zombies always like they always interested me the most because they're not like werewolves or aliens or fucking
vampires,
skeletons. That actual vampires. They are human. Like they are pretty much as human as it can get. Like they aren't another species. I mean, technically the flood are, but zombies aren't another species. They're human. And the fact that humans can act like that, or that humans can be bent to act like that, always really interested me. And then you combine that element of horror with Halo, like my favorite thing in the world. Yeah. And it's like a fucking match made in heaven. And there's that, and then there's also the Foreign trilogy. So for those who haven't read that, please, for the love of God, go and read it. It's fucking fantastic. It's basically like the Silmarillion. What the Silmarillion is to Tolkien, it's like that to Halo, kind of.
I feel like it's Halo's own Lord of the Rings in terms of scale and epic. It's like Lord of the Rings in the Halo universe.
It feels like another sort of like obviously it is a trilogy, but like another sort of Halo trilogy type thing, but just set in a very different era. But that trilogy, obviously when they started properly fleshing out the precursors and the Foreign and the Flood War, I loved it so much, and all the mystery behind it and everything, and that made me just love the Flood even more. And I think that's a brief summary of why I love them so much.
Yeah, the weird creepiness of the Flood.
Why other people love them, I'd imagine many love it for the same reason, but I think mostly it's because in terms of gameplay, whether you like the Flood to fight, or whether you like fighting the Flood, or whether you don't, like, fair enough, have your opinions, but what you can't dispute is that they were a whole different ball game in terms of fighting compared to the Covenant. Like the Covenant, you fought like conventional soldiers, whereas the Flood, they fight completely differently. They throw themselves at you in hordes. They're stronger in number, but weaker in terms of like body strength. You have to approach them completely differently, and unlike the Prometheans, which are just essentially Covenant V2 or Covenant version 1.1, the Flood actually did mix the gameplay up quite significantly. I think people miss that. I think they miss that.
Well, it's especially cool that like the Flood. I don't think a lot of people realize that back in the day when Bungie was marketing Halo, like Halo Combat Evolved and stuff, nobody ever talked about the Flood during the marketing. They didn't even hint that there was going to be a twist in the middle of the game and a new enemy. There was nothing. Yep. Not like, get to the middle of the game and that's when shit really goes. Like, no, as far as you knew, according to everything Bungie said, it was exclusively Covenant that you were going to be fighting. And it was going to be awesome aliens and stuff like that. So 343 Guilty Spark, that mission genuinely terrified people because they didn't know that it was coming. It was Bungie's best kept secret that zombies were in the game.
Like, even if you watch the Private Jenkins cutscene, where you can briefly see a few infection forms, you still had no idea what the fuck was going to come out of that door. You had no idea what was about to break through that door.
Well, yeah, it was. I even remember kind of as a kid, when I was following the Combat Evolved story on PC, and it was kind of like the tension of like, oh god, there's these little popcorn things that are like attacking people. They're like these weird amoeba things that are like lashing out at people. What are they doing? And then it was like you're fighting them, and it was like, okay, got it. And then the door bursts down, and it's like, what the are those elites? Like, and their necks are weird, and it's scary. Like you can see it poking out of their chest.
Yeah, you can see the elite's neck snapped, and like they're acting really erratically. You've seen the elites act like really like officially in an elite manner for the first 4 missions, and now like their fucking necks are snapped. They're wailing their arms around at you. It's crazy. That surprise when the second round of surprise when they kick that door open is so cool.
What's even scarier when you see a lot of elites at first, and it's just like you fighting infected elites, and it's terrifying. You see the feelers coming out of their chest, and you get their skin is like decaying. Yeah. And you go, you try to escape and stuff like that, and you open a door, and you see actually a human, like a marine, and it looks like a skeleton. It's so creepy looking. Like it has no stomach because it's all rotted away, and it's like head is hanging, and you can see its face like frozen in a scream. Like
I still think the human combat form is one of the best things that Bungie ever added to Halo. It was such a good design.
It's so creepy looking, and Halo 3 creeped me out even more because that was higher fidelity. You could make out more detail, and you could see it's like head bouncing and stuff because the neck is snapped.
Yeah, I actually think Halo 2 did it best, because if you look at Halo 2's, it's not that obviously the textures are very low quality on it, but the human combat forms are covered in blood as well. And you can also see the veins, like the veins are filled with blood, and they're like protruding out the skin. That looks creepy.
It's like all that congealed blood just like bloating up the corpse because it's not pumping anymore. Bungie was very good about tiny details like that. Like
they were.
Like I don't know if you knew the reason that the elite's blood is blue is because they have 2 hearts, and because they have 2 hearts, their circulatory system is a lot stronger than a human's. Like with us, the reason our blood is red, from what I understand in biology class, it was because of the hemoglobins, I think, in our blood.
Oxyhemoglobin.
Yeah, elites don't have that in their blood. And because they have 2 hearts, they don't need those things to break down their blood, make it easier to circulate through our systems. Because like with a human's blood, from what I understand, is naturally supposed to be blue. But because of like, a variety of biological reasons, it comes out as red. But with an elite, they have 2 hearts. They don't need, all these like sacrifices.
That's really fucking cool. I never realized that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and Bungie, from what I understand, because I was talking to somebody who is old enough to have been aware of websites and been able to follow a lot of what Bungie was spewing about Combat Evolved before it came out. And he was saying Bungie was using the fact elites have 2 hearts almost as like a selling point for how badass they are. They were like, because they have 2 hearts, they can pump blood a lot faster, get that energy to their, like they were explaining how they could leap 30 feet because of how strong they were. And like the reason they're so tall is because their bodies have to like support all the energy that 2 hearts is producing. And like they apparently,
they're not wrong. They're not wrong. That's
and they apparently an elite's most its biggest vein, it has 2 veins in its neck. That's why its neck is so long. Because that's where 2 of its biggest.
Fat in Halo 4 and 5 as well?
Well, obviously, all joking aside, I do wonder if that's kind of what 343 was going for. Because 343 also, they're everyone likes to make jokes and stuff like that, but they also try to pay attention to details.
Oh yeah, no, they did it. Halo 4 did a great job at that.
Like, yeah, the Jackal specifically, it's like biological makeup. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like which is also kind of weird, going, not to go off on an art style tangent, but remember when I showed you that crazy thing from the Jackals, how Bungie wanted them to look like geckos in Combat Evolved,
yeah.
and then they changed them to birds in Halo 2.
And then 343 took it back to the lizard style roots, yeah.
Well, it's interesting as well, because like this guy sent me a Bungie quote where they were talking about the Jackals and how basically they were theorized, like the way that they were pitching them is, you know, those, like, I think of like the generic cartoon gecko that we all think of, where it has the big like bug eyes and the swirly tail, and it's hanging.
You mean like the Geico mascot?
Not like the Geico mascot, but like I think what is it called? That one lizard.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. With the huge, is it like?
It's like a swirly tail. Is it an iguana?
I think it might be, with the big protruding eyes.
Yeah, with the gigantic eyes that are just like, looking in different directions. Yeah, basically Bungie pitched it like that. Like they were saying you could almost visualize it suddenly, dropping down from a tree branch and hanging there by its little suction cups on the underneath its feet, with its big bug eyes looking around for you. Like, yeah,
I can really see that with Combat Evolved design, actually. I can really picture that.
In fact, apparently, in the concept art for the Jackals in Halo Combat Evolved, you could because they didn't have like sleeves and stuff like that. They didn't have bodysuits like the elites. You could see like tribal tattoos up and down their arms that were apparently Forerunner tattoos.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that would have been maybe a little bit too far, but that's still pretty damn cool.
Well, I think the reasoning that they were doing it was because Bungie back then, the idea was that like, most of these Covenant species, the reasons that they aligned with each other was because their planets were, the Forerunners played a major part in their planet's development, like them finding Forerunner relics and that accelerating their technological growth and kind of worship of the Forerunners.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, and it kind of fits into why the Covenant formed. I mean, why we know the Covenant formed now. Yeah. Same sort of thing.
Well, yeah, and even the Hunters, if I remember right, Bungie's original canon was that they were not a colony of worms, but just two massive organisms.
I think they definitely made the right decision going with the colony of worms.
Oh, yeah, because that's way more interesting, having just like this gigantic thing.
It's way more alien.
Yeah, it's
weird. Individual worms with big pincers joined together to create a big fucking hulking mega beast.
Yeah, dude, like Halo 5... I hate the Hunters in it, and I hate combat fighting them. I think they're boring. I think the change to make them slow lumbering bosses was bad and hurt the pacing. Yeah. But I appreciated the detail of like seeing the Hunter worm slithering up to the...
That was really cool. And then seeing when the Hunter had formed and it sort of shakes a few of the worms off. That is, I like that.
Yeah, when it like yells at you and you could see the worms just like scattering off its body and flopping around on the ground all wet and slimy.
Yeah, I think in terms of like bosses and stuff, I'm sort of torn because Halo has never had a good boss fight. Nope. There's never been a good boss fight in Halo before.
Nope.
But at the same time, I kind of want there to be. I want them to keep trying because I feel like it's possible. It's just really difficult.
Well, Halo's already had a really good boss, and that was the Scarab in Halo 3.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like an individual character. Though.
Yeah.
Like something
a gigantic
that you have...
thing that's just like throwing barrels at you.
Yeah, something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what my favorite boss fight would be. Probably Tartarus. I think Tartarus... It wasn't good. I'm not going to say it was a good boss fight, but I think out of all of them, it was probably the best.
Mechanically, I don't think I could say Tartarus was very good mechanically.
Oh, I don't think it was either. Actually, to be fair, I'll say that Decimus is probably the best from Halo Wars 2.
Decimus. Oh, but Decimus cheats. He's a RTS.
Well, yeah. But still, I think it was pretty fun. Decimus' boss fight was pretty good.
I feel like... I mean, I do think that Halo, because of the way it's designed to be always... It's on the move, it never stopping. Like a boss would have to be like a linear thing where it's not you stripping down its health, it's you actively working towards a goal that instantly kills it. Like that's kind of why the Scarab is so fucking good as a boss.
Yeah,
because it's not you like wasting ammo on it until it's finally dead. The goal is to get inside it and kill it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, with Halo 5, now that the always on the move gameplay is hindered by aiming down sights, then maybe we'll get a conventional fucking, I don't know, Makarov boss fight or something.
Makarov, was he like, didn't you kill him by like a QTE? Hanging him?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't cool, but it was a QTE, so. Something that needs to be completely just deleted from video gaming.
What, killing Makarov with a QTE?
No, QTEs in general. They're irritating. Like, why take... there's only a few very specific circumstances where they should exist. Why take control away from the character when they're going to do something awesome? Like, that's... I think Bungie said that.
Yeah, that's why they...
In one of their old Vidocs.
That's why Marty O'Donnell said that's why they wanted you to... Like, everyone shits on Guilty Spark's boss fight.
That was it. Yeah.
The reason they did that is because he would be a lot more lame if he was killed in a cutscene.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly.
And to be fair, Guilty Spark wasn't really a boss. It was just, here's a Spartan laser, kill him.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. It wasn't supposed to be challenging. It was supposed to be kill him, he's right there.
And I guess it sort of worked from a story perspective as well, because he just killed Johnson, and you were like, yeah, fuck this.
It's fucking awesome. You take Johnson's laser and kill Guilty Spark yourself?
Yeah.
Dude, Johnson, like, man, that was... It's so lame that Bungie had that clinical approach to Halo 3 storytelling of, we need to kill a character so that it's sad. So that we have emotions.
Yeah, but I feel like somebody had to die.
Well, Miranda
that had to be a character death.
Well, yeah, they had to kill Johnson because nobody gave a fuck when Miranda died.
Yeah, Miranda wasn't like... they tried with Miranda, and... She wasn't that great.
She wasn't a very good character.
No, I mean, I will admit her death scene is really good. But
oh yeah, when she comes to break Johnson out.
Yeah, I don't really know why. And as well, when she's pointing the gun at Johnson, she's pointing the magnum at Johnson. She's going to kill him, so he can't activate the array. I don't know why she doesn't just do it. Like,
yeah, she's like waiting. He's like, do it. First me, then yourself. And he's just like, just shoot him. Just shoot him.
Yeah, like, you could have literally just killed everything then by hesitating.
Yeah. Dude, man, fucking Bungie, like, the Halo trilogy. They did
Take me back.
They also made so many weird decisions that, like, 343 is still trying to, like... rectify, like making the elites in their second video game, making the elites your buddies. Like, still to this day, 343 scrambling to come up with excuses to keep the elites as bad guys, because I don't think anybody wants to go back to fighting brutes instead of elites.
I mean, Halo 3 did a good job with the brutes of making them more fun than Halo 2, but still, nothing is as satisfying as breaking an elite shield.
Yeah, and that's not to say that the brutes need to be thrown in the dumpster, because I mean, I'm all for giving the brutes another try.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The problem though would come into how do you fit them into because the Covenant, their chemistry with each other is such a rock paper scissors.
Yeah,
like. Triangle that they or not triangle, I guess. Is it a triangle? Yeah, I guess it is a triangle.
I mean, you've got the hunter, so it's more like a square.
Yeah, like you can't really fit that fifth element in there without there being some awkwardness. Like maybe it could work if you brought back the Halo 3 brutes and had them be almost like mini elites in terms of the way they function on the battlefield.
Maybe. I'm going to say something really controversial now.
Go.
So, I replayed a lot of Reach recently, and although the brutes in that game, I think the brute design in that game is just fucking peculiar. I don't know why they went that direction.
They look like Easter Island heads.
Yeah. They do look like Easter Island heads. But they actually did quite a good job in that game with having some missions be more brute focused and some missions more elite focused. Because you'll notice when you start to get to like New Alexandria, you start seeing only brutes. Yeah, I actually think that was a really good idea in hindsight because Bungie knew that they couldn't put the elites and the brutes on the battlefield together at the same time all the time because they'd clash with each other. They sort of fill the same role. So they gave certain missions to the brutes, certain missions to the elites. I think that worked really well in hindsight, and I reckon if they wanted to bring the brutes back and have them be very different to the elites in terms of gameplay, that's how they could do it.
Yeah, I could see that. Although that's too creative. That's too inventive.
Well, no, let's have another type of Promethean that plays exactly like another elite.
Let's have the Promethean soldier.
Yeah.
That's what are they?
The Promethean is I don't know. I love the lore. I love the lore, but I can't see a way they can make him fun from a gameplay point of view. Like I'm all ears for Halo 6. If you want to try and make him like even more fun than the Covenant, go for it. Like try it, go for it. But I personally just cannot see how they can do it. I can't. Yeah. I can't see.
Yeah, it's they seemingly refuse to do creative things with their mechanical roots.
Yeah, well, Halo 4 did some cool stuff with it, where like the crawlers would run on the walls and stuff and on the roof.
Yeah,
that stuff was. I mean, I still don't think they were great.
It didn't
but
work.
It was better than nothing. It was better than Halo 5, where they are literally just grunts. Like they are grunts, but metal.
And there are hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I also feel that something not a lot of people seem to have picked up on, like, they may not know the reasons that, like, for some reason combat in Halo 5 just isn't that fun, fighting the Covenant and the Prometheans. A major part of it is that more enemies doesn't mean better gunfight. That means the gunfights are going to take way longer than they should.
Yep.
Like, when you see a flock of like 800 crawlers, I just want to like claw my eyes out, because I'm like, I can't do this. I can't center the screen and press the trigger 800 times.
343 even like kind of acknowledged that with Halo 5, because they added that patch like a year into the game, where if you shoot one crawler in the head, it makes like a chain reaction. Yeah, and it kills the others. Like they know that. Like they know that they messed that up.
Yeah, just like way too many enemies. But even then with Warzone, and I think of like Warzone Firefight, the way they were like, there are more enemies on screen than you've ever seen in any Halo game, and it's like
me of Warzone Firefight.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to kill so many guys.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, nah, Warzone Firefight is no, it's the absolute epitome of artificial difficulty.
Yeah, artificial difficulty, and I mean, I wonder if like the Mythic Firefight thing. See, I have a theory about Mythic Warzone Firefight. I feel like part of the reason they did Mythic Warzone Firefight is because they looked online and they saw Destiny raids and stuff.
I knew you were going to say that.
And they were thinking, like, what if we do something like, think of like Twitch viewers, people partying up to run a quick Warzone Mythic Firefight on the weekend. Like,
and you know what? I actually think that isn't a bad idea. I think that could work. Like, that really could work. But not when you just throw a bunch of like unnecessarily tough enemies into a map that you've already played with no tangible reward at the end.
You know what would be a lot more fun?
What?
Like, here's a wacky, crazy idea. How about
shock me?
How about campaign matchmaking on the weekend or something?
No.
Like,
don't be silly.
Like, every weekend, have it set to legendary difficulty, have like one crazy skull on or something like that. And it's like, there you go. You get like a free, I don't know, like, here's a rec pack. Go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah, I mean, you instantly lost me with that reward. But it's,
because there are no rewards outside of loot boxes in Halo 5.
Precisely. Well, that's the fucking root of the problem. But no, yeah, that could work. I mean, Reach had that kind of, and it was a bit dead. They had that multiplayer campaign playlist.
Oh, well that was stupid, because that was always on, and like, obviously after a while people are going to stop playing the campaign because they played it so many times. But like,
and also there were no dedicated servers, so every game, unless you were a host, had like a 500 millisecond input lag.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was something to do with the way that Bungie, it also, you notice in matchmaking Firefight, it's the same issue. There's a slight,
it was unplayable.
Yeah, there's an input delay, and it's also very, very aggressive in the Master Chief Collection. You can definitely feel it there.
Oh yeah, like when I try to play a campaign with you, it's
Oh, geez, yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, no, I usually just let you host because I'm like, I can deal with it.
Oh god, for some reason I can't. When everything just feels so sticky, it does my head in. It does my head in.
Yeah, man, Halo.
Fun times.
So we are at probably 45 minutes. Last time I recorded, it was about an hour long with Favin because we were just ranting and raving about enhanced mobility, and after a while Sony Vegas Pro just started flickering my render, so it was like, oh, okay, I guess we're all having a seizure now.
Oh yeah, I noticed that towards after the first hour.
And I have no idea why Sony Vegas Pro did it. I assume it's because Sony and they're a bunch of incompetent dickheads.
They want you to get. They want the Spider-Man back.
They want their Spider-Man. Did you see the fucking Venom trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks dope. It's annoying there was no Venom.
Really doesn't look dope because it just looks like a boring action movie from the early 2000s.
You know that Tom Hardy's gonna kill it. You know that Tom Hardy is gonna kill it as Venom. Come on, you can't deny that. Tom Hardy is going to absolutely kill it.
But like, the thing is, Eddie Brock is such not a character that it's sort of like, what?
But it's Tom Hardy.
But it's like Tom Hardy can't make a character interesting. It'll just be like, oh, that's Tom Hardy. Like, he needs to transcend Tom Hardy and become Eddie Brock, and he can't really do that because it's just like the movie looks like such a nothing burger.
I mean,
I hate that term, by the way.
Yeah, I hate that term.
I hate that after Hillary Clinton started saying that.
Oh god, let's not talk of that in a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that like in Dark Knight Rises, they didn't give Bane like all that much sort of backstory, but my god.
Yeah, but that was like well written and came from passion.
And Christopher Nolan as well, so that always helps.
With Venom, I don't know if you followed the reasons that movie's being made.
I'm guessing it's meant to be like a reaction to Marvel getting Spider-Man back. I'm assuming.
It's part of, basically, it's a middle finger to Marvel. Like, look what we're doing. We're making our own cinematic universe with Spider-Man characters, but no Spider-Man. And then it's also like partly being done just so that they can keep their rights to the Spider-Man IP, because there was something to do with like they have to make a new Spider-Man related movie every 4 years or so, or they lose the license. The rights or something. So it's basically the only reason this movie's being made are political reasons, like background studio politics.
Well, that's a good start. I mean, I'm not well versed in like Marvel and DC universes at all. Like I'm not that bothered about superhero movies.
Are you saying you don't want to see the Black Panther?
Oh god.
The best movie ever made, one of the most important things to happen to cinema. I
do think it actually looks really good.
It's the first movie to have a black person in the lead. Did you know that?
Everyone seems to be conveniently forgetting Blade, which is without a doubt the best Marvel movie I will ever see. Blade is the GOAT. Blade is the GOAT of Marvel movies.
I'm so disappointed with Black Panther because I'm just like, it looked like a fun action movie, and now it's being like bogged down by weird politics stuff. Like
weird, over the top, aggressive politics.
I'm like, that's sad. I just wanted it to be a fun action movie.
I still think it looks pretty good. Like the story idea, what I know about the story is pretty cool. Good choice of actors in it. But
alien meteorite lands in Africa, and an African tribe is like, oh, there's like cool shit in this meteorite, and then they build an advanced civilization and wall
like a massive advanced futuristic city.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably will end up going seeing it at some point. But I like I said, I've never been interested in superhero movies apart from Dark Knight trilogy and like stuff in the early 2000s. Like I loved Eric Bana's Hulk.
Yeah, that's right. You told me that, and I was just like, why? Why did you like that movie?
I mean, probably I was really young, but I loved it. And dude, the official video game of Eric Bana's Hulk. Holy shit, that game was so good. That game was dope.
Isn't there a Hulk? There a Hulk game where you're just it's open world and you just destroy the city?
That's pretty much what it was. I'm pretty sure that was the one. It had like a destructor meter or something, and you'd like throw helicopters into buildings and shit. It was nuts.
Yeah. It's, man. Jeez.
I also remember there was a bit where you go in the sewers. in significantly enlarged sewers, so you could play as Hulk in there.
I know what we need to talk about.
Go on.
Did you see the zombies gameplay from Rainbow Six Siege?
I did.
That shit looks bananas, dog.
It looks... I'm cautiously optimistic with it, because like, it looks really good.
So fun!
And seeing all the characters, like, hearing Tachanka and, like, Thermite talk to each other over the comms was pretty fucking cool.
It looks like Left 4 Dead.
It does. My only concern is that I was hoping it'd just be regular zombies and that they'd go for, like, a real, like, horror theme with it. Because they sort of did. They sort of did, because you heard, like, all the characters whispering and being really quiet when they were going around. But I feel like if they did regular zombies, just regular zombies that bite you, it would have been a little bit better. But I'm loving what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, I assume they probably don't want zombies because they want to avoid calling them zombies, because people would roll their eyes and, you know.
Oh no, I get that totally, because zombies have been, pardon the pun, done to death.
Yeah, which... like, oh man, I was so fucking on board. There was this one segment where they were just like going through, I don't know what it was, some kind of building, and you just heard all the moaning and screaming with Rainbow Six Siege's really good audio system. So it sounded so real. You could hear the muffled in the next room.
The surround audio in Siege is really fucking good, so it will be a really good horror experience. I'm excited to play it, like really excited. And if the whole Jimmy Zielinski doing it rumor is true, for those who don't know, Jimmy Zielinski is the guy who created Call of Duty Zombies. He is essentially responsible for kickstarting this massive zombies pop culture revolution.
He was the lead director during World at War and Black Ops 1.
And also for Transit, Die Riders, and Buried, but we like to forget those maps.
Which is clearly him at his breaking point.
That was him when he was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm done. But if the rumors are true and Jimmy Zielinski's writing it, then you know it's going to be fucking good. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah, and something also that I thought was like super cool, at least, was the way they're in zombies mode, and so they're just like roaming around, but when they see you, you know, they like they start screaming and spines shoot out of their back and they armor up and then start running at you.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm loving as well how we're actually getting like some actual story for the characters as well, for all these operators that have had like cool themes for the past year or so, 2 years, but they've never really been anything. Now we're getting actual story for them, which is pretty cool. Dude, and we're getting story for them in a zombies universe, which is even fucking better. It's even better.
It's so crazy because like it's to think that 3 years ago Rainbow Six Siege essentially launched as a quick cash grab to make back the money that Ubisoft wasted on Rainbow Six Patriots. And now it's blown up to the point where like they're just like, yeah, okay, like we'll just throw money at a fucking zombies mode.
Well, I think the even funnier thing is the fact that the game died.
Oh,
People seem to forget that the game completely died, like,
it launched like
a few minutes after launch.
Yeah, it sold approximately 3 copies at launch.
Yeah, and then it was broken and it was like missing features at launch, and the game just died. But then a year later, Ubisoft had like finished fully fixing it back up and making it like a coherent game, and my god, did they do a good job with it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I remember there was this YouTuber whose name was... he's a Battlefield YouTuber.
Okay.
Fuck, I forgot his name.
Level Cap.
And he was saying in his beta thing for Rainbow Six Siege so many years ago, he was like, I really think that this game has the potential to be a Counter-Strike killer. And everybody in the comments was tearing him a new asshole because it was like, oh, fuck off. Like, Rainbow Six Siege is shit. Like... You know, it's just a quick cash grab from Ubisoft. Like, we all know what it is. And it's nowadays, it's like, it's getting there.
Yeah. Last night, the Rainbow Six Siege Invitational tournament was on, and it was like #1 spot on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of thousands of viewers. Like, the game has blown up. Yeah, major props to Ubisoft for that, because they've done a fucking good job with that game.
And now they're stuffing it with loot boxes.
Oh god! Remember when they said that they'd never have a loot box that you couldn't buy with Rainbow Six credits or whatever, or with Renown?
Oh, and they lied.
Yeah,
I remember that.
They straight up lied to our faces. Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, there's the developers of Rainbow Six Siege recently came out and said that they don't feel that they're being greedy with the Outbreak crates that you can buy. And it's like, no, you are, because if you weren't being greedy, you would let us straight up buy the items we want, not hide them behind a creepy loot box.
Yeah, I think something quite funny came out yesterday. I believe it was about Siege. One of the Ubisoft executives said that the alpha packs are like the gift shop at the end of a roller coaster ride. Like, dude, no, they are.
No, they're not.
At a gift shop, I can go and pick out one particular thing that I want to buy and take home with me. I don't have to buy the entire store to maybe get what I want. I can pick out the keyring or the hoodie or the mug, and I can fucking take it home with me. With alpha packs or loot boxes or whatever, nope, I have to buy the entire store.
Yeah, like, go fuck yourself. You know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, come on, yeah.
Like, I know you're not that stupid, and you know you're not that stupid. You know exactly what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. No, they know precisely what they're doing. And I don't know. It's just so shit that they outright said that, yep, we will always have packs. The packs will always be purchasable with Renown. And then here we are, like... That statement wasn't even said that long ago. It was like maybe 6 or so months ago, I think.
Yeah.
And here we are in the current year, and yeah, didn't happen.
Yeah, like, go fuck yourself, Ubisoft. Your game's great, by the way.
Yeah, your game is fucking awesome, and major props for fixing it back up and making it so good, but nah, don't kid yourself.
Alrighty, man. We can probably call it quits. It's been a cheeky hour of banter.
Yeah, a very lovely cheeky hour of discussion and ranting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. We should definitely do this again.
Absolutely. I'm 100% down.
Alrighty, man. That is... Yeah.